Hey folks, welcome back. This is part 2 in my series on how to get started as a brand new level 60, and you'll see I'm exactly where I left off with my character before. We're on the Imperial Fleet. This would be the Republic Fleet if you were playing a Republic character. But here on the Imperial Fleet, you can see there's people running around, there's a lot of things going on. So I'm actually going to pause for a second, and I'm going to pick up the video in a place that's a little quieter to show you these things. Alright, so I've unpaused and now I am on the lower level of the Imperial Fleet. I basically just took the closest elevator and just head straight down. So anyway, I should be able to be here a little bit and not have players running around, so you should be able to see what's on my screen. So here's what's going on. When you've just made a brand new level 60 character, you're actually in really good shape. The game automatically gives you a bunch of really good items, and I want to talk about some of those things. So first up, if you look up here on the top of my page, there's the character sheet. You can find this by hitting C on your keyboard or by clicking up here on the menu bar, and you'll notice that my character has been outfitted with basic starting gear, okay? It's actually pretty decent gear. It's item rating 188 for level 60, which isn't bad. It's not something you want to jump into a heavy duty raid with anytime soon, but for sure, when you're just getting started, that's some pretty decent gear. You're not going to have too much trouble killing things in the places I'm going to send you with this gear. So don't worry about that for right now. You don't have to worry about buying anything right away. And when you do decide to jump straight into the story, you'll have a good foundation of gear to get started there. And better stuff will come along the way, but just know so you know you're not being outfitted with complete junk like you do when you first start the game at level 1. I also want to point out that you have a huge asset that they're not immediately telling you about. If you jump right into the story, you lose all your companions. The reason I had you exit out right away is so that actually you have access to two things to help you get rolling. The first of which is your companions. If I click N, that's going to bring up my companion window. And if you had played 1 through 60, you would have gone through the storyline for whatever character class you're in, and you would have met all the companions that tie into your personal story for that class. Right now I'm on my sniper, so he is technically an Imperial agent, and so these are all the characters you meet as an Imperial agent. Yes, there's some spoilers ahead, but if you're jumping to 60, you should be expecting these. Now, the cool thing is that since I'm not jumping into the story right away, I have access to all these companions. I'm going to go ahead and pick Ensign Raina Temple for right now, and when I click on this little arrow next to her head, that is going to summon her. So now I have a companion. This is really good, because right now what I do not have is any cash. In fact, if you look in my inventory right now, I have only 20 of these advanced med packs and 0 cash. So even though I'm starting at level 60 and you're starting at level 60, you're basically starting with nothing, okay? You do have some starting gear, and as I've shown you right here, you have some companions to work with. They're not leveled up at all. They're all starting at level 1, but you can change that if you want to. But you do have some companions. They start by default in a healing stance, okay? Now, I'm a sniper on this character. You may choose to be a tank or a healer, whatever you want to do, but I would recommend that if you are leveling up from the 60 to 65 process, that process does go fastest if you're in a DPS stance. And typically, if you're in a DPS stance, the best thing for your healer to be in, for your companion to be in, is a healing stance. If you do want to change it though, and this is something that the game isn't going to tell you as soon as they jump in, if you want to change what your companion is doing, just right click on their portrait, hit role selection, and just choose which one of these 3 items you want them to do. If I don't really need a healer, I just want more damage and to kill things faster, I can put Raina Temple or whichever companion I have out in a DPS stance. Even if I unsummon her and I summon a different companion, when I take her back, she'll be in whatever stance I left her in. Conversely, all companions start as healers by default. You also, as a side note, can't change them while you're in battle, so you have to do that when you're outside of combat. But it still gives you a heck of a lot of flexibility in this game, since that way you're not constantly trying to manage your own healing, your own tanking, your own DPS when you're doing one of the other roles. So anyway, I do have a companion out. She is going to be in heal stance for me. Alright, so that is a little bit of what we got going on here. So you have your 188 rating gear. You don't have any cash, but you do have one other thing, one other asset, which is really cool. You have access to the questing hubs that were not tied to the story, and you have access to your ship. Okay. You also have access to one last thing, which are your crew skills. So if I hit B on my keyboard, that brings up the crew skill menu. And one awesome thing about being level 60 is that you get access to maxed out crew skills. Now, if you want to change these, you got to start over from zero. But as is, the game will automatically decide that, hey, as a level 60, here is a crew skill that we think will work really well for you and for your class. In this case, they chose Armor Mech, and the two supplementary skills to Armor Mech are Scavenging, which is a gathering skill to get metal and materials for Armor Mech, and Underworld Trading, which is a specialty gathering skill. That specialty gathering skill gets you the higher grade mats that you need to make higher grade equipment. It's a little bit more expensive to do. That's not stuff you find on the field. That's something you have to send companions out to get, and it does cost some cash, which you don't have yet, but it's at max level, which is great. Okay, so unlike a lot of chumps who have to start from 1 to 500, like I had to, you basically get to start at the top of the food chain, which is very nice. Okay, that also means too they changed the way the gathering works in the game, but one of the reasons to step out of the story is if you want to have some pocket cash before you start this game, get a grind of what it feels like. This is a great time to experiment on what the gathering feels like, and I'll show you that in one of the future videos. Anyway, so that is your assets as they stand right now. The gear that's on your back, the companions you have if you've exited out of the story. You have a ship that you can use to fly planet to planet. Not this hot second, though, because you don't have any cash. And you also have your crew skills, okay? Alright, so that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to set up your HUD, but right now, you should have a good foundation on what your character looks like. You should know now that you can exit out between 60 and 61 and restart that character if you need to. And now you should know a level 60 character, what their starting assets are. Okay, so this shouldn't be a mystery to you anymore. You don't have any cash, but you do have a few tools that you can use to get cash in a hurry. Alright, thank you guys so much. This was video number 2 for starting a new level 60 character. I'm going to come back next time and we're going to talk about the HUD. If you like my videos, please like my channel. Go ahead and pass it along to your friends. Feel free to subscribe. And of course, feel free to use the new friend referral link in my video links area. And jump on into the game, man. I'd love to see you guys over the Harbinger. Alright, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video.